Hi guys, welcome back to Let's Talk, episode 9. We are so excited to be back on the couch. It's been a couple of weeks and we missed you guys.
Definitely missed you guys.
And so we hope that you guys missed us too. So tonight we're going to be talking about love languages. And we took a poll on Instagram, and thank you to all of you guys who answered what your love language was to us, because that's what we're going to be covering tonight.
Yeah, so for those who may or may not be familiar with love languages, it's a quiz where you answer questions based on what you would prefer, this or that, and at the end of the quiz or poll, it registers what your love language would be, or what your actually how you like to be loved.
Yes.
And so the categories for how you like to be loved are words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, giving gifts, and physical touch. So T and I think we took this quiz, I don't know, some years back. How long ago would you say?
Probably like 6 years ago.
6 years ago.
7 years ago.
I don't even. Do you remember what your quiz said?
I don't remember. What I do remember is that we had the same love language at the
Really?
time.
If I remember correctly, I think it was physical touch.
Ours, I think mine's. I mean, I don't remember what it was. I just remember us being the same.
The same. Okay. So we recently took it, and
Yes.
it was different.
Yeah.
We haven't shared each other's results, so this is the first time I'm hearing hers. What was your
So my love language is the words of affirmation.
words of affirmation?
Yeah.
Okay. And mine was quality time. Quality time. So based on our results, would you say that we are mindful and show each other love based on our love language? Would you say?
No.
Yeah. I don't think so.
And you would think, with as far as we've come in our relationship, I think it's just because like everything is like a new start for us. Like we pressed the restart button,
Yeah.
and we've decided to come full circle and to kind of give ourselves a new fresh start on life and how we saw ourselves, how we see each other in our relationship. And so I think that it's fun because it kind of gets us like in a new mode to like, I think it's always fun to like do new stuff and like date again and get to know your partner for another, because we grow so much, and
Right.
we're different from when we were before. So
So do you think that is something that happens, that you almost have to learn or figure out what the love language is over time, and like when it switches? So how often do you think you should check in, like, did your love language change?
I don't think it should be. I don't think it should be so robotic.
Right.
But I mean, I'm not sure how often you should check in, but I don't think it's more of I should check in and ask you if your love language changed, but I think it should be more of like if you feel like your love language has changed, or you
express
feel
it.
like, hey, that was cool before, but now I'm kind of like getting into
need
this, and I kind of need this now. So I think it's an opportunity for you to kind of just constantly be open and transparent with your partner and let them know like, hey, that was cool then, but I'm kind of feeling this now.
Right. And I think that goes into like why it's important for you to know your love language.
Yes.
Because if you know your love language, then
you
you're
know
able
what
to
you want.
you know what you want, and you're able to express it to your partner.
Yeah,
because
clearly.
after doing the quiz, and it ended up being quality time, I don't know if I would have expressed that to you before. Just flat out like, yo, T, like, yo, I need you to spend time with me, and that makes me feel loved. But after seeing it, it definitely brought it to my attention that, yo, sometimes that's all I want to do with T is just chill, and I'll feel like, we did something, or we shared time, or spent time. You know what I mean? And so I think it is important for you to know your language, so you can actually express that to your partner, so they can know how to love you, so to speak.
I feel like I knew that was your love language, but like I didn't know to like hit the nail on the head. Like I
Right.
knew that you require, and like I always would tell you, like you require more attention than me. And I know initially you was like, you wasn't really feeling me saying that, but I didn't mean it in like a negative way. It was just like I knew that that's what you required, and that's not something that I necessarily require all the time.
Right.
But I think sometimes for me, my love language being words of affirmation, I wanted to hear you tell me that you wanted me to sit down and have quality time with you. And I think sometimes you look for me to know already. You know what I mean? But if you don't express and say those things to me, I kind of just feel like I'm guessing. I'm like, well, I'm just kind of going. I'm like either working or I'm with the kids or I'm hanging out with my friends, and like we get to like we're always together. You know what I mean? In my mind, I'm like we're here 24/7.
Right.
So like how much more time? But for you, it's different because it's different than us being all together on the couch with the kids versus, hey, I need you to consciously stop for a second and like stop what you're doing. Or even if I'm like, it's just us. Or if I'm in the bed, I'm like on the computer. I'm still not like focused on you. I'm like doing something on my computer while I'm sitting next to you.
Well, believe it or not, for me, that is still considered quality time. Like for me, it's just sometimes just being in your space. I mean, obviously it's different with the kids because with the kids, the attention is everywhere. And, you know, with Brian, the attention is him. You know what I mean? Usually most of the time. But if it's just you and I, even when you're working, just being in your space sometime for me is still considered quality time. And so it doesn't have to be like a specific moment where, you know, we're being, you know, lovey-dovey or whatever the case may be. Obviously, that's considered quality time. But for me, it's just really being in your space and it being you and I.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for me, hearing the words of affirmation, I guess trying to put that into words or what that looks like, when I hear that, I think just like compliments or, you know, saying I love you or things like that. Is it simply just that for you?
It definitely, that's important to me. Like I want you to tell me how beautiful I am. And
like I don't already.
How sexy I am. No, but that stuff is really important to me too. But one thing when I was reading the explanation and the breakdown of it, and I think that's cool. Like we should probably, and I'll have to remember to do this, like maybe post the quiz in our like bio for like maybe a week. And so couples out there, and even people who aren't couples, even I think everyone, period, so that even when you're going into a situation or you just know what you want for yourself and you know what your love language is. And so we'll put that, but it gives like a breakdown for the quiz that we took online of what that means. So not only giving me compliments, but also being very mindful of your words, period, to me. Because even if you say something that may not be so nice to me or something that's not complimentary, that can be very hurtful for me. And in other terms, you know, I hold on to grudges and I hold on to words so much, and it means so much to me. And it kind of gave me a new insight why sometimes like I can be holding on to stuff from you that's like a year ago, and you be like, girl, but it's like words mean so much to me. Like what you say to me, how you say it to me, it means a lot to me. And it kind of, I think it shapes our relationship more.
So do you think like with the love language, although, you know, when you take the quiz, it gives you a breakdown, but it has the majority of where your questions were answered and how you like to be loved. Do you think that solely speaks to how you like to be loved, just that one majority answer or one majority breakdown for what your love language is?
No, I don't, because I know as they were asking me questions, like I feel like possibly my love language also is gift receiving. I like to receive gifts, and so I think that like the questions begin to teeter between words of affirmation and gift giving, and it ends up that words of affirmations are more impactful for me. And I do believe like what you say to me is way more impactful than if I got a gift from you every day or like once a month.
But doesn't mean that you don't like get gifts.
But it doesn't mean I don't like to get gifts, because I love to get gifts. I love getting gifts. I love when you bring me flowers for no reason. And you know, the two wonderful gifts. I do love that. And I think that's something that I shied away from a little bit, because I didn't want to feel like I was just looking for you all about gifts and money too. But the reality is I really like that.
Yeah, no, I agree. The same thing for me was with the idea of acts of service. A lot of the questions were asking like, you know, what would you like more? You know, spending time or, you know, your partner doing something without you asking. I'm like, both. Shit, I would like both of them, please. So let me pick both. But I found myself, you know, thinking like, which one would I like more? But I think that both of those would show me or make me feel loved in the same way. And so I think although taking the quiz is is fun, and it does point out the majority or specific way that you like to be loved, or one of the ways you like to be loved. It kind of ends up pushing another one out the way.
Yeah, I think so
It feels
too.
that way a little bit.
'Cause I would have kind of thought, I thought that, I mean, I'm not surprised that yours is quality time because I do know that about you, but I also would kind of understand if yours also was physical touch.
Exactly.
Because I think you're very physical and you loved, like, that's important for you, you know what I mean? And so I could see you, that being like,
One
up
of mine
there.
too.
Yeah, definitely up there.
And what's dope at the end, right? And when it has the breakdown, it had like almost percentages for each one. And so
what were your percent? Because my percentages were like only shy by like 1%. It was like 20. I don't know what it was, but let's give an example. It was like 28% quality time, 27% gift giving. You know, it was like really close.
It's funny. When we did the Instagram poll, somebody said all of them, LOL. But I think it makes sense too, right? Like all of them are your love languages, and you do have one that may stick out or stand out based on just maybe your personality.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so all of them make up how you like to be loved, and those, you have that one that's just like, if they do this, then I feel extra special.
And so it's kind of like what you were saying, like with them, it's kind of like sometimes that thing you pay attention to most.
That's
you know
what
I
it
mean?
is, right?
Yeah, because sometimes it's like, I like all of them, but like if this person's not doing this, that's it. Like, it's a problem.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
And that makes me think about, like, if you are not getting your love language, or if you are getting your primary love language, does it limit you from receiving love in those other ways? Like if you tell me, okay, yours is words of affirmation, now I'm like, in my mind, that's the one I'm gonna focus on. And then I forget about the other ways. I ain't brought you a gift in 6 months. So I'm like, she like words of affirmation, so I'm on it.
I'm a speaker.
I love you.
Speaker today.
Girl, what's up? You know what I mean? But then you don't do the other thing. So I think you gotta make sure you're balanced in it, and just be aware of so I think the dope thing with the quiz is sharing your entire results with your partner, so they can see, the other ways that you like to be loved, and the percentages for those, because those may also speak to you in a different way, or something that you could be more aware of.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's good. So yeah. Absolutely.
And then just, I guess, with all of the love languages, I'm shuffling through these to go back to what they are. Acts of service, quality time, giving gifts. All of these are ways that you kind of show your partner that you thinking about them or caring about them. So I think all of them are things that you just almost want to just do in your relationship
and balance everything as a whole. Yeah.
Balance it all out.
100%.
Yeah. So I think for those, like Tia mentioned, we'll leave the link if you guys want to share with your partners and take the quiz together, because I think it's something dope just to see how
you are and
which one stands out, what's your primary love language versus secondary, or which other ones that you find to be ones that that stand out for you.
And I think it can also help anchor you to when you're moving into a space to receive love, and you're going into a new relationship as well, because you know what you want and you know what it is that you require for yourself to feel loved. You know what I mean? I think a lot of times, sometimes we just go along with how the person shows love.
That's true.
Versus what do we actually want to receive love? Because after a while, it's like, okay, we can be doing something, and I could say to you, like, okay, that was nice, but I want this. And you could be like, what? Like, I give you this and I do this for you. And I'm like, yeah, that's all wonderful, but that's not necessarily what I need to feel loved within myself. And so it's important for you to understand that for yourself, so you can share that with your partner.
Yeah, and that goes back to your earlier idea of, like you said, just knowing how you want to be loved, so you can share that initially. And then, like you said, going into a new relationship, that's one of those things that you can have a conversation about early before you get into those, I ain't gonna call them bad habits, but they're habits nonetheless that may not be, good for your relationship long term. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cheers to love language. Now I know I gotta spend time.
Now I know I gotta say, Tia, you are beautiful every day.
Yes, you do. Not that I don't know it already, but Tell me something I don't
trip.
know.
She a trip. She a
A
trip.
little bit.
Appreciate you guys joining us this week talking about love languages. As always, you know, we love to involve you guys as much as possible. So we're going to add the link for the love language quiz in our bio on our YouTube page. So make sure you guys check that out. And as always, like, subscribe, and share.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us tonight for our 9th episode, Let's Talk. Please go ahead and catch up on episodes 1 through 8 and let us know what you guys think.
See you guys next week.
Bye.